Hello everyone, I'm Anthony the Eclectic Chef. I'm talking to you from my English kitchen about a dish I prepared in an American kitchen. And it's a ribeye steak, in this case smothered, with a sauce I devised called sauce Eclectique. I couldn't think of a better name. It's a reduced stock, almost basically a sauce espagnole. Has a little bit of tomato puree in it, some wine, and the two main flavourings are truffles, black truffles, and mushrooms. Now, when you see the pictures of the steak, yeah, it's smothered. I oversauced this steak, but I was cooking for me. That's my dinner you're looking at. And there was nobody else at home, so I wasn't going to leave any of the sauce because, trust me, it tasted incredibly good. If you want to give the sauce Eclectique a try, you won't be sorry. Thanks for watching. I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe because it really does help the algorithm. But more importantly, please share with your friends. Thanks for watching, and let's all have a great day in our kitchens. Okay, here's our ingredients for what is pretty close to a sauce espagnole. We've got a cup of very gelatinous chicken stock. Yes, I know this is for a steak, but this is what I have. And I don't think we'll notice by the time I've finished. 4 ounces, which is half a cup of medium dry Madeira, an ounce of brandy, and we've got some tomato paste here, which we're going to add in towards the end after we've reduced this down. Although I don't know, maybe I'll put it in now. You know what, I'm going to put it in now. We'll reduce this down to half a cup. It'll take about an hour and a half. Very low heat. I haven't decided how I'm going to thicken this yet. If I'm going to use a roux or a beurre mani, but won't make that much difference. I'll probably use a roux because I want to brown the flour to darken the sauce a little. And we're going to add some thinly sliced mushrooms and slices of black truffle to the sauce. We'll talk later about what sort of combination of the darker sauces that makes, and I'll have to come up with the name of this for myself. So we'll come back to you in a little bit. I've thrown a couple of sprigs of parsley and thyme from the garden and a couple of juicy garlic cloves in here to add even extra flavour to the reduction. And I will take these out before we merge with the roux and finish the sauce. So here's our steak for tonight. A ribeye, not too fatty, which I'm dry brining in the fridge. The salt had slightly larger crystals than I'm used to using, but we'll get there. Let me talk to you about the salt. Okay, today we're using Droitwich salt from Droitwich Spa. It's from one of the oldest and purest salt springs that we know of. It's also very close to where I was brought up, and I bought this a couple of trips ago, finally getting around to using it. This is beach smoked salt. So I thought, you know what, let's try dry brining the steak with this. It may add just another layer to the flavours of this dish we're trying to put together today. I'll let you know how it works out, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Our sauce base is about halfway there. We've got it down to a cup, from a cup, over a cup and a half actually. And so I removed the aromatics. We'll just get this down to half a cup. Probably take about another 20 minutes. And here's our sauce base reduced down to half a cup. Not super thick, it's a bit like tomato soup actually. if you were to ask me. Even looks like it because of the tomato paste we put in to make a sauce espagnole. I'm going to set this aside, put a bit of cling film over the top so hopefully it won't get a skin, and we'll work on the roux. I've decided to use a roux and the other sauce ingredients, which are going to be sliced black truffle and very thinly sliced mushroom. And we'll come back to that when we get around to cooking the steak and saucing it up. Oh. Okay, so I decided to use a roux to thicken the sauce as needed. It probably won't need much actually, I may end up with some roux left over. So we're just darkening the roux up. I'm using Wonder flour, maybe 1.5 tablespoons of butter, más o menos. An issue I had to deal with here is, I'm going to put slices of black truffle in the sauce with the mushrooms. Not many, but I wanted to use a little bit of truffle oil too. And truffle oil can be very variable. You never quite know what you're going to get in terms of how much truffle flavour there is in there. And I don't want a truffle flavoured sauce. I want a sauce with a hint of truffle. And the sauce, the oil I got is actually quite strong. It's a truffle brand. I'm very happy with it, by the way, I'm not complaining. So what I decided to do was put a teaspoon in with the roux. That way I'll get just a little bit of truffle flavour from the oil. And I can use the truffle slices with the mushrooms as I see fit. Sorry that took a bit of a monologue, but it's something we have to talk about. Look, we're not looking for a vinegar flavoured sauce or a wine flavoured sauce. We're looking for a sauce and a dish with a lot of depth of layered flavours that don't conflict but all complement the steak. I'm hoping we'll get there today, but we'll see. Here we have the sautéed mushrooms and truffle slices. So we're going to add the sauce and hold it at a low temperature. Okay, our steak's plated and resting. Our potatoes are warmed through. I'm just going to thicken the sauce and we're good to serve up. So here it is, ribeye steak with sauce. I'm going to call it sauce Eclectique. It's a combination, we'll talk about it in the description. My fondant potatoes, I broke one getting it out of the pan. That's how that always works, but I think this has worked out really well. I'll give you a quick report afterwards, but I'm hoping this tastes really good because I put a lot of work into it. Okay, so we're just about ready to start filming the section about the fondant potatoes. The one thing I would say about these fondant potatoes is I knew I was cooking these to serve with a dish with a substantial and robust sauce. So I didn't flavour the stock and butter with any herbs such as thyme or putney pepper or any other herbs in that sauce because I knew the potatoes would be served with a sauce. If you were preparing these fondant potatoes to be served as a single side dish or with something that you're not saucing, you might want to make or put some herbs and flavourings in the sauce and maybe reduce it down a little bit or just pour a tad over the top of the fondant potatoes when you serve them. You won't see that in this video because we didn't need it, but I thought I'd pass that on. By the way, I may throw the fondant potatoes out as a separate video in a little while, just in case people are interested and don't want to sit all the way through the video to see how they're made. Okay, well, I'm going to cook some fondant potatoes to go with the steak and sauce. I haven't done this for ages. And here are our 3 potato slices. They're all about the same thickness. This is a Yukon Gold. Sizzling in some of my cheap unsalted butter and until we can get a nice brown top and bottom on them. Now, Escoffier advocated cooking fondant potatoes just in butter. I do wonder sometimes how much, but we're not going to do that today. I've got some chicken stock, the gelatinous stock that we're using to reduce down for the steak sauce that I have to use up, so we're going to cook these down in some stock, and I'll pop them in the Anova. I think is probably the best way once we've got a nice brown top and bottom. So here are our fondant potatoes after 20 minutes at 350. Going to give them, I've turned them, they're looking good. Still some plenty of sauce there. I'm going to put them in for another 5 minutes and they'll be done. I did test them with a knife, they're pretty much done, but I just want to give them another 5 minutes. And by the way, folks, there's a reason professional kitchens always hang a cloth over the top, over the handle of a hot pan and the top of the lid, because they're hot. I just burned myself on the top of the lid, so don't do that. So here are our fondant potatoes after 25 minutes in the Anova. 20 and 5 actually. If I do this again, I'll flip them at the 15-minute mark. These are cooked through beautifully. I'm going to let them cool down in the sauce, which is thickened up. Just the butter and the stock. I may put it in a jug and save it. Can't really use it on the potatoes because I've got other sauce coming up, but these are looking good. As I said, it's years and years and years since I've done these, and I'll probably be doing them again. Bit of work, but I think it's worth it.